Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 1IQ Sports Talk. Sterling here, coming at you with another review. This time, Week 11 matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. It's Ravens Week Part 1. You guys know, if you were watching the podcast last week and any of our videos, I was hyped up for this. This is always an excellent matchup, and it was the exact match that we thought we were getting from the best rivalry in football today. And it wasted no time. It got wild early on the second play of the game for Baltimore. Nick Herbig would chase down Derrick Henry and knock the ball out, strip it for a fumble, and it would be recovered by Deshaun Elliott. That is Derrick Henry's first fumble of the season coming against the Steelers. So welcome to Baltimore and welcome back to Pittsburgh, Derrick Henry. It's the same old shit, just with a different team for you now. This was just insane way to start the game, and it set the tone for the entire matchup, how it was going to be physical and just a gritty game, and you'll see that from the final score we end up at. The Baltimore defense would be able to hold after giving up that fumble, only allowing a field goal from Pittsburgh. There would be several more stalled drives for both teams in the first quarter, but most notably for those stalled drives would be Justin Tucker missing not one, but two field goals, which could have dramatically helped the Ravens win this game. And it was such a shift in what could have been. The Steelers, they were moving the ball okay during this game, but it wasn't great. I never have high expectations for Pittsburgh against Baltimore because it's always such a tough fought matchup between these two that the stat lines are rarely flattering for anybody who plays in this game. And so I wasn't shocked. It was a little disappointing to see what happened throughout, but honestly, the Baltimore defense showed up against Pittsburgh, and all these Steelers drives, they really struggled once they reached the red zone. They would add another field goal early in the second quarter. Then midway through that second quarter, the Ravens were able to finally get a drive going themselves, go the length of the field, and they would manage to score a touchdown on Derrick Henry run. The Ravens' next drive would see Patrick Queen showing Baltimore exactly what they let walk away last year, and that would be after a pass to Isaiah Likely. Patrick Queen would close and force a fumble there as well. He would strip the ball out and recover it himself, Patrick Queen would. And so a strip fumble and then a fumble recovery for Patrick Queen, really making his presence known on the field against this Baltimore Ravens offense. This would set Pittsburgh up because this was late in the second quarter when this occurred. So this would set them up to kick yet another field goal before halftime. And this would lead us to a halftime score of 9-7 for Pittsburgh, which, as I said, pretty par for the course when Baltimore and Pittsburgh play each other. So I can't really say I was surprised. The second half really would see these two teams begin to mirror each other, as they often do. They would trade field goals early in the third quarter, each having drive stall, having to kick that, and Pittsburgh would add another field goal near the end of the third quarter. Outside of that, it was a pretty uneventful third, not a whole lot went on. And then in the fourth quarter, we would see yet another crazy sequence as the Steelers finally put together what looked like would be a touchdown drive. They were moving the ball well, getting it downfield, until Russell Wilson, we would see that vintage Russ as he escaped what everybody thought was a sure sack, roll out and just sort of lob a pass to the end zone. Unfortunately, it would be intercepted. He was going for Darnell Washington, big 6'7" tight end, but unfortunately, I'm not sure if he didn't see the ball or what, but he didn't even reach up or jump or anything for it. If he had done that, even if he hadn't caught it, he would have knocked it down and it wouldn't have been intercepted, but he didn't even make a play on it. Honestly, I can't fault Russell Wilson entirely on this. This was something where, Washington should have done his share and tried to at least make a play on the ball. but unfortunately, interception. And so in the end zone, goes back to Baltimore. But then just 2 plays later, Lamar Jackson would attempt a deep pass to Justice Hill, but Peyton Wilson, our rookie middle linebacker, would not give up on the play. He had a hand in there as Justice Hill was making the catch, and he would rip that ball free as they both fell to the ground and somehow managed to end up with possession of that ball with just a magnificent interception. So taking that ball right back for Pittsburgh, and any momentum that Baltimore was trying to take with their interception was immediately taken back by Pittsburgh. They would, with good field position, obviously, they would be able to move the ball a little bit, but again, only another field goal. It was just crazy that they could not get it into the end zone, but another field goal, like I said, with 3.5 minutes left. But this is the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers. Baltimore refusing to quit and would take their final drive all the way down the field and managed to score a touchdown on a pass to Zay Flowers with just 1 minute remaining in the game, leaving them down by 2 points and obviously having to go for that 2-point conversion. I don't know what the play was, what it was supposed to be, but it looked like a absolutely broken play from Baltimore as Lamar Jackson tried to roll out to his left, and there were no receivers there available for him. Joey Porter Jr. would close, be able to make a tackle on Lamar Jackson as he was just throwing the ball away, essentially, resulting in no conversion on the 2-point attempt. Pittsburgh would then kill out the rest of the clock after that turnover on downs, on what appeared to be like a design package for Justin Fields. We got to see Justin Fields in the game. He got a good run up the left side, and he slid a yard too early, and so only got 9 yards on the play, which resulted in Pittsburgh having to run another play. It was dicey for a minute there, but the Pittsburgh called the timeout, put out the same play, and what they did was, instead of having Justin Fields run it this time, he handed it off to Najee Harris, and Najee Harris converted the first down, which would seal the game. Less than a minute left. Baltimore didn't have enough timeouts to stop it, and so that would seal it. Final score, Pittsburgh 18, Baltimore 16. Absolutely nuts game. Second time this season that the Pittsburgh Steelers have won a football game without scoring a touchdown by only kicking 6 field goals. Chris Boswell was a magician yet again, and as I mentioned early on, those 2 Justin Tucker missed field goals, so key. Even one of those field goals gives Baltimore this win. Instead, with those 2 misses, Pittsburgh gets to walk away and send Baltimore home with a 7-4 record, while Pittsburgh moves on to 8-2. They take a firm lead in this AFC North race for the division. It was a good football game. It was your typical Steelers-Ravens. It was physical. It was grindy. Both defenses did a great job keeping this game close. Even in a tight game, the Pittsburgh Steelers managed to complete all 3 of the game day goals to win each game that I set out. They dominated the time of possession with 36 minutes to 23 minutes. They would win the turnover battle 3-1, and they managed to get over 100 rushing yards between Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. So completing all 3 of those made it easy. Really, it was much like that Washington game where it was so essential to win that time of possession battle, because quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, you got to keep the ball out of their hands. And that is what Pittsburgh did. That was why they were able to control this game. And it was so fundamental, and I'm hoping to see more of that. This is a big change for this Pittsburgh team from the last 4 years, where they were averaging 23 to 25 minutes of possession time a game, and now they're up averaging 33 to 36 minutes, and that is excellent to see. And the other thing, Chris Boswell, he put this team on his back again and went a perfect 6 for 6 with a long of 57 yards, and was able to score all of the Pittsburgh points and win this game. And really, Baltimore beat themselves with those missed field goals and the penalties. Man, Baltimore took 12 total penalties for a total of 80 yards, and lots of them coming on key plays throughout the matchup. Really, that was what sealed it for them. Their mistakes really is why Pittsburgh was able to pull off this win. I really think Baltimore had the better game and should have been able to get a win here, but Pittsburgh just was able to have them rattled. And so that was Ravens week part 1, and Pittsburgh now firmly in the lead in the AFC North. But here we have a short week as the Steelers are going to go into Cleveland on Thursday Night Football to face the Browns in another divisional matchup. Now, I know the Browns have been worse than bad, but somehow they always manage to play well against their AFC North rivals. You know, we saw what they did against Baltimore a few weeks back, and I expect Cleveland to give Pittsburgh a hell of a run here, and like this could be one of those games that Pittsburgh should win and somehow manage to drop to a subpar team, as we've seen them do already this season with their 2 losses coming to the Colts and the Cowboys, who are both not great teams right now. And so I'm hoping they play smart football and they're able to find a way to score some touchdowns in that game in Cleveland. Again, short week, only 3 days rest between, playing Thursday night. So we'll see what happens in week 12. Hopefully the Steelers can keep this streak rolling. 4 wins in a row now with Russell Wilson at the helm. It's crunch time, though. We're in the division slog. We got a lot of division games coming up, and we got a couple of big matchups against the Eagles and Chiefs coming in December as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Week 11 game. I hope you get a chance to enjoy the Thursday nighter between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Check out our game picks, which will be dropping on Thursday for that Thursday night game with Brendan and I. We also will have our top 5s and bottom 5s coming out at some point this week, and then the rest of our game picks coming out on Saturday like usual. And so please hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them so we know what sort of content you guys are looking for. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed and that you enjoy the start to Week 12 on Thursday night with Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Peace.